if you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. It's one of my favorite clips of all time from Conor McGregor. He's a UFC fighter. I'm sure you've seen that clip or you know who Conor McGregor is. But there's a clip of him talking to a reporter, and he says, if you can see it here and you can speak it, it will happen. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm making this video. Because a lot of people, and you'll hear it especially now because of New Year's, and obviously it's cliche to say, okay, yeah, New Year's resolution, people don't get it done. Obviously, people quit their New Year's resolutions on average January 19th. I think that's the day where the average amount of people quits their New Year's resolutions, right? But not even talking about New Year's resolutions, but everything else in life, whatever it is in your life, you hear people making claims, right? And they make claims about their future. You've heard it from your family, your friends, whoever, right? You've heard it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to get a job. Oh yeah, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to, try and do that, whatever it is, I'm going to lose this amount of weight, I'm going to start getting in the gym, whatever it is, you hear claims about people's future. The thing is that you hear a lot of these claims, but you don't see a lot of action, right? It's a lot of this and not a lot of this. But here's the thing. Obviously, we know that's wrong, and I'm not going to, tell you about something you already know, right? The reason why I'm making this video is because how do we make it so that when we see it here and we speak it, it doesn't end down there, but it ends in our hand, right? Because if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And that's a concept that really I totally agree with and is very familiar to me. Because all throughout my life, right, especially friends, and it started happening, it happens when, me, I always try to do my best. I always put in 100% in everything. And when you start putting 100% in everything, what you'll see is progress, right? And practice makes progress. It doesn't make perfect, but practice makes progress. And when you make progress, you'll see people around you, friends, family, whatever, they start doing this, right? They start talking a lot. They start making claims. But the most important thing why I want to teach you in this video is not that, yes, we know making the claims is bad and not doing the action is bad. But why do they make the claims, right? Because people like to wrap themselves in accomplishments that happened 20 years ago or that they say they're going to do. They wrap themselves in the accomplishments because it's a place of comfort. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It sounds cool, right? It's a mental masturbation because it hasn't been done. And that's something also that, another motivational speaker, David Goggins, preaches. And he says, look, it doesn't matter what you did yesterday, what you did 20 years ago. It matters what you're doing today, right? It doesn't matter what you say you're going to do. And that's the thing, how you kind of have to think about it. Don't try and make claims about your future, right? Don't make claims about your future. For me, when I say something, when the words come out of my mouth, it might as well be written in the 10 Commandments of the Bible. That's how much you need to care about what you say comes out of your mouth. Because what you say comes out of your mouth is your word. And if you don't believe your word, nobody else will. And that's a very important concept. Whatever you say, you have to do no matter what, right? No matter what. And obviously, you've heard of discipline. You know that is discipline. But the reason why it's important to say what you do is so that you can believe what you say, right? And when you believe what you say will happen. Exactly, right? And when you do something, when you say something and it happens, people start to believe you, right? And I experienced this, right? And that's why I'm telling you, I'm preaching about it to you now and explaining how important this is because, obviously I'm still young. I'm 17 years old. But I remember back in, when I was a little bit younger, let's say 2-3 years ago, I was a bit more chubby as a kid, right? And honestly, my family didn't respect me, right? My mom didn't even let me go and cross the street with my friends, right? I was held in that kind of a bubble where it was like, he's just a kid, he can't be outside of that, right? But now it's like, how is it like 2-3 years ago, my mom doesn't even let me cross the street, overprotective over me, to now it's like, I'm 17 years old, I make $9K a month, I own 3 cars, I pay the rent, and, I go travel, I spend a month in San Diego, 2 months ago, Airbnb, whatever it is. So it's like things like that where it's like, how do you go from this to that? To where, at December 25th on Christmas, I remember it, December 25th on Christmas last year, I was in this house right now, and we're in the living room with my family. And I remember saying, because I hadn't had a car yet, and everyone else had a car. And I remember saying, you know what, I really want a truck. I really want a truck. I want a pair of boots. and I want to work. And what happened? This Christmas, December 25th, I pulled up to Christmas, and we told everybody, come out, right? Come see Josiah's new car. And they came and see Josiah's new car. What did he do? He bought a truck. And I remember my grandma looked me in the eyes this past December 25th, and she said, you know, I remember last year when you told me you were going to get the truck, and you did. You said, you do what you say, right? And I took that, now I'm making this video now, and I'm saying is, look, what you say you have to do. I can, you know what I'm saying? And the sad thing is because the thing about me is I don't like to call people out on it, right? I have friends that say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I love to just check in with them and just be like, hey, how's that going? You said you were going to do it, right? But I don't. Because honestly, the thing about me, the difference between maybe me and most people is that while I'm doing well, I don't like to tell anybody else, right? Because I'm competitive. I don't want anyone else to do well, right? Even though I say I do, I don't. So that's the thing. You need to be constantly improving yourself. And one of those ways, right? Hold on, stay with me. One of those ways is you need to start thinking more in here. What do you want? How come you keep, why do you think, here's the thing. Why do you think you keep seeing, maybe this isn't you, but this was me. Why do you think you keep seeing you being rich, driving the nice car? Why do you think you keep visualizing that in your head? Why do you think you keep visualizing you ripped, jacked, right? Why do you think you keep visualizing, you know, you're going to be jacked and all these people are going to look at you, whatever, or you're going to drive this nice car and people are going to look at you? Why do you think you keep visualizing it, right? It's because you want it, right? It's because you dream of it. Don't let people take that thought away from you. Don't let people say, oh, well, you know, not everyone can do it. That's fake, whatever it is, you know, it's not realistic for you to lose that amount of, whatever it is, you can't be in the mindset of it can't happen. It's like David Goggins says, it's one thing that when before he became a Navy SEAL, they told him, you know, only this amount of black people ever became a Navy SEAL. What makes you think you can, right? And you know what his response was? Most people were like, oh yeah, you're right, you know, I might as well not try. Whatever it was, he was thinking in his mind, but what if I could, right? And that's the most important thing. You got to be thinking, what if I could do it though, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? And when a thought comes in my mind and I dismiss it, then, you know, you grab that, bring it back and you say, well, what if I could do that, right? You know? And it's like, well, what if I could make 10 grand a month, 17, right? What if I could buy my own car, right? What if I could drive a really nice car? Whatever it is, you see it in your mind and you speak it and it will happen. And the thing is, that's pretty much all I have to say. You have to stand on your word, bro. What you say has to mean something, right? And obviously for me, this means more to me because when you're young and if you're in school, you know, not saying what not doing what you say, it doesn't mean that much. It still means a lot because you become not credible. And when you're not credible, people don't trust you, right? You know, and so you want to be the person where you say something and people get jealous, right? Because a lot of people will tell you things, but you don't even really get jealous of that, right? Because you know in the back of your mind, they're incapable of success. The thing is, when I say something, I can see it in people's face, right? I can see it in people's face when I say, I'm going to do this by this date. I'm going to do this, right? You can see it in people's face, especially the ones who are jealous of you. You'll see it in their eyes because in their eyes, there's that slight moment when they realize that it's very possible for you to succeed. And you should be concerned when people don't really care about what you have to say or what the things that you say you're gonna do. You should be concerned that people don't care about it because that means that in their mind, they believe that there's not a possibility of you succeeding, right? They don't believe you can do it. And why don't they believe you can do it? It's because you haven't showed them that you can. And so if you haven't showed them that you can, right? What kind of person are you, right? And so people need to trust you, and they start doing that when you trust your word, when you trust yourself. So trust your word, make it happen, and, you know, take action, bro. Take action as quick as possible. Make it happen. And that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. But yeah, make it happen, bro. Shock 'em.